H.R. 7272, a bill to require the Secretary of Energy to carry out a program.
Without objection, the first reading of the bill is dispensed with, and the bill will be open for amendment at any point so ordered. Are there any members seeking to be recognized on the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
For what purpose does the Vice Chairman of the Subcommittee from Texas seek recognition?
I seek recognition to speak on H.R. 7272.
The gentleman is recognized to speak on the bill for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The top line on this is that the legislation would require the Secretary of Energy to carry out a program that improves coordination among federal agencies, among states, as well as the energy sector to ensure the security of pipelines and LNG facilities. My legislation, the Pipeline Cybersecurity Preparedness Act, which I'm proud to lead with my friend from Michigan, Representative Dingle, I don't see her here today, has long-standing support in this committee. Addressing both cyber and physical threats and other hazards to our fuel infrastructure requires information sharing and coordination among infrastructure owners, states, as well as the federal government. It also requires visibility over the whole energy sector, from fuels to power, upstream to downstream in our facilities that secure American energy dominance across the world, Mr. Chairman. The Department of Energy, DOE, serves by law, pardon me, as the government's energy sector lead, and as such has broad visibility and the expertise to ensure security and hazards coordination across the entire energy sector. H.R. 7272 would improve how the Department of Energy works with others to ensure the security and resilience of pipelines as well as LNG facilities that our energy sector depend upon for the reliable supply of fuels as well as electricity. This legislation focuses on DOE's vast technical capabilities to develop a program that improves the coordination and the technical support needed to ensure timely, efficient, and effective work to secure our energy systems and response to disruptions. To be extremely clear, H.R. 7272 does not create nor does it authorize a regulatory program. Let me repeat. This bill does not create nor does it authorize a regulatory program. It is intended to strengthen DOE's ability to improve, to inform, and build capabilities within states as well as access across the energy sector. Pardon me. Other agencies like Transportation Security Administration, TSA, certainly play a vital role when it comes to cybersecurity for pipelines. But the Department of Energy retains responsibility over the whole energy and power sector. It also already leads federal coordination on this front. This bipartisan effort will maximize for the public interest DOE's capabilities and in turn strengthen all stakeholders in security for the delivery of fuels as well as power. With that, I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 772.
The gentleman yield a minute, then 43 seconds. This is
yes.
This
yes,
gentleman yield. So thank Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair. Our nation's economy and security are dependent on the uninterrupted supply of fuels and electricity, and pipelines play an essential role in the reliability of this system. Both the Department of Energy Organization Act and the Fixing America's Transportation Act provide DOE with a range of emergency response and cybersecurity authorities, including the designation of DOE as a sector risk management agency for the energy sector. In this role, DOE is required to coordinate with other agencies and work with the energy sector to identify vulnerabilities and mitigate incidents. H.R. 7272 would bolster coordination and information sharing for incident responses, provide for the pilot demonstration projects, and develop curricula for pipeline and LNG facilities. H.R. 7272 will also improve the quality of this coordination by allowing DOE to work more closely with the energy sector and states to strengthen system resiliency. Importantly, this legislation has no impact on the authority of any other federal agency relating to the physical or cybersecurity of pipelines or LNG facilities. It does not provide any new regulatory authority, and instructs DOE to use its expertise at the Sector Risk Management Agency to strengthen the resilience of our nation's critical energy and infrastructure. The bill enjoys a strong bipartisan history, and I thank my colleagues on the other side of the aisle for working with us, and I appreciate, I urge support, and I will yield back to my friend from Texas.
The gentleman from Kentucky yields back, and so do I, Mr.
Well,
Chairman.
thank you very much. The gentleman yields back, and the chair now recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey, the ranking member of the full committee. It's like the last word for 5 minutes.
The last word. Thank you, Chairman Latta. I strongly support H.R. 7272, the Pipeline Cybersecurity Preparedness Act, because cybersecurity threats to our energy system are not limited to the power grid. They can impact our nation's fuel delivery systems. And we saw an explicit example of this nearly 5 years ago when cyber criminals hacked the Colonial Pipeline and left much of the East Coast struggling for access to gasoline and diesel. This bill would codify and enhance the Department of Energy's role in pipeline security. It would also allow DOE to develop pilot and demonstration projects to keep our nation's energy system safe and to help develop the next generation of energy workers that are on the front lines of energy security. DOE has the relationships with companies across the energy industry necessary to drive the change we need to see, and it must have leadership role in any federal government efforts to protect both the physical and cyber security of our energy infrastructure. But before I yield back, Mr. Chairman, I have to note that the committee has more work to do in ensuring the safety, not just the security, of our nation's pipeline system. The Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration's authorization for pipeline safety activities ran out nearly 2.5 years ago. The Transportation and Infrastructure Committee has passed a bipartisan reauthorization bill. The Senate Commerce Committee has passed a bipartisan reauthorization bill. But our committee is behind the curve. We have not even had a legislative hearing on a proposal. So, Mr. Chairman, this committee cannot stand idly by as the Trump administration attacks the safety of American pipelines. We must craft a bipartisan reauthorization for pipeline safety. But I know that work is critical. I know it's for another day. For the moment, I'm glad the committee can pass this important legislation on pipeline security. I urge my colleagues to
Will the gentleman yield?
Sure, of course. Yes.
Thank you. I yield back.